He said dive! Yeah! God, why do I keep doing that? Anyway, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. And, yeah, as you'll also be noticing, well, apart from the fact that I'm taking damage from these little... What the fuck are these something to me? Like, string patterns? Dream catches? Whatever, really. Yeah, Riku also has different dive missions compared to Sora. If I can say anything else, I actually quite like some of the aesthetic changes that happen between dive sequences, really. I don't know, it's quite cool. You see these bizarre vortex thingies, and it's trippy as hell, but also quite fun. God knows what would happen if we had like a 1970s-esque Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, where we'd be seeing chickens with their heads getting cut off, and things are starting to slowing. War, evil scariness, 70s, everybody was on drugs, allegedly. Actually, that's probably true. We got it! Oh, by the way, yeah, those rings hurt. So, as you can no doubt tell, there's no time to waste. The ring is open! Come on, Riku, we gotta hurry and go! But yeah, much in the same vein as Traverse Town, in fact, arguably I'd say done in a little bit more of a distinctive fashion. Yeah, the areas that Riku gets to travel through aren't the same places that Sora gets to go through in terms of anything else, and I believe it's all the damage I took, plus the relative lack of points that I gathered, that got me a silver rank. Oh no.
Pinocchio! Son! Where have you run off to?
Isn't that Gepetto? Then this must be...
Monstro! Ah, Nostalgia. Familiar territory from Kingdom Heartsian 1. But yeah, this, for Riku's story segment, it takes place directly after Sora's part of the story. Sora got Prankster's Paradise, and, Riku gets the guts of a whale laddie. Well, poor Riku. Sora gets to have all the fun of the fair, and Riku has to deal with whale farts. But yeah, I mean, looking at this Kingdom Hearts 1 area and just seeing, you know, just how much area you have to explore with flow motion and how trivial platforming is. Yeah, rolling, rawhide. Get those ragons? Raggin? Those wagons are moving. Ah, well. In any case, though, this really shouldn't be too much more to, this really shouldn't be too long of a part, which is part of why I'm doing 2 parts in one day. As I look outside and see people wandering outside. Fucking people, I should kill them all. But that's just my old man paranoia settling in, and as we purchase some paints, yeah, I'm gonna be showing you one last Dream Eater interaction thingy-motron, which is the fact that you can actually paint your Dream Eaters. It's not really a mini-game of sorts, but I figured I might as well show it off, I guess just for the sake of really sort of rounding everything off and just seeing what you can purchase in this area, but yeah, as well as providing a few other materials for Dream Eater bonding later down the road. I mean, we do have Spiky Prick, but yeah, 3 Dream Eaters, and we're gonna be painting, you know, Arkham DMC3 purple, you know, just for the sake of, fulfilling the, you know, get out the way, vamp. Yeah, just for the sake of fulfilling our destiny.
What's the matter?
Huh? Goodness, who are you?
Riku.
Oh, Riku, you poor lad. Seems you were swallowed up by Monstro just like the rest of us. My name is Gepetto, and I'm looking for my son Pinocchio.
Pinocchio's gone missing?
I'm afraid so. After all my searching, I found him here in the whale, but then he ran off again to who knows where.
That sounds kind of familiar. Mr. Gepetto, let me go look for your son.
You would do that? Thank you. Are you sure?
Yeah, leave it to me.
Did you say you were really going to help us find Pinocchio?
Jiminy?
Huh? That's right. Name's Jiminy. Jiminy Cricket. But, shucks, have we met?
No, you know, never mind.
If you say so. Anyway, Pinocchio comes first.
Right. Any idea where he went?
Well, I'm almost certain he wandered off with a stranger.
Can you describe him?
I remember he was dressed in a black coat.
A black coat? He's back again. Thanks. Huh?
Well, I'm going with you. Pinocchio's gonna need his conscience, and that's where I come in.
Oh yeah, golly gee, Riku and Jiminy. It's gonna be a hit game franchise like Jak and Daxter, boy howdy. But yes, somebody in a black cloak seems to be interested in puppets. Well, the last time we were here, it was Riku who had the interest in Jiminy. But he was working for Anthem and Maleficent, and not the Organization. Something's going on here. But anyway, this is pretty much our means of commuting through Monstro, which is thankfully a lot less labyrinthian than it was in Kingdom Hearts 1, so yeah, thankful for small mercies at the very least. We are introduced to new Dream Eaters, these fish fuckers with a giant bugger-off laser beam, which is quite odd. But it's also here where we get introduced to Spiky Prick. Yeah, the Prickle Main Dream Eater that pretty much has the same sort of attacks that the other ones have, minus the whole getting angry, grr, I turn red, and then perform a fuck you attack that you can't really defend against. So yeah, apart from that, yeah, Spiky Prick is a pretty fun Dream Eater to have. Or at least for this stage in the game anyway, since it's still fairly early days and you don't quite have access to some of the tastier Dream Eaters as of yet. But in any case, so, yeah, let's show off, Rising Ring! Ha! There we go. Now that's, the level 2 ability of, what happens when you use Vamp. Yeah, it's basically another swift attack, similar to Fly By Night, which is what Sora has, variant of the ability had, but yeah, it's basically Riku's level 2, next to Darkest Fears, and, again, when you use the second level of a Dream Eater's ability, that's basically, well, using up both of your Dream Eater's link charge abilities, so yeah, you're gonna make sure you have both of them charged up, and in turn, you also have to make sure that, well, you know, you want to pick your poison, depending on whether or not you want to use Darkest Fears or Spiky Prick's ability solo. Anyway, that's Balloon Ra. Basically, you have a whole cluster of balloons and then they home in and take out your enemies. Comes in quite handy with a certain super boss we'll be coming to towards the end of the game, but I'll say no more. Hush hush, hush hush. In the meantime, let's just enjoy taking out all of these whale coffee spots and penguins that exist inside Monstro, because it is a hungry beast that eats fish and chips and fish and chips. Chesterbocky, you're not the true Arkham of DMC3. I have absolutely nothing to say at this stage. It's I mean, level design-wise, again, it accommodates for the flow motion abilities by having much more open abilities. There are mimic treasure chests in a similar vein to previous games, and in turn, you know, it's a much more tolerable level compared to its Kingdom Hearts 1 self, but I mean, at the same time, though, like, I mean, despite the colourful innards, it's still, you know, the inside of a whale, which, just sort of, really. I mean, again, you do still have the whole flow motion abilities of, you know, using reality shifts to turn things into giant bubbles, and I'll throw bubbles at you. That's pretty much it, but yeah, not really too much to say about this, so, I guess I might as well go into detail, sort of highlighting a bit about Riku's story, and, you know, it's similar to how Sora's whole realization about, you know, the real world versus the dream world. Riku will also come to very similar, conclusions towards the end of his stage, which, once again, as I mentioned beforehand, it does also bring credence to the fact that this game was initially meant to be a Riku solo game, with, I wouldn't say Sora necessarily being an afterthought, but it does feel like his inclusion was done purely out of at the behest of fans who wanted to see him in a playable role again. I mean, I suppose they probably just didn't count Data Sora from 305, not 358 over 2 days, from Kingdom Hearts Coded, which was a digital recreation. Which, in and of itself, was basically meant to be a grounding for, you know, the eventual Dream Drop Distance thing to begin with, which is basically Sora goes through a journal and then finds out that it's full of bugs as it's been digitized into data, which was basically a message left by Nomine saying, by the way, be sure to heal the trauma of, you know, Terra, Aqua, and Ventus, as well as, you know, Shion, Roxas, and sort of coming to very similar conclusions as to what Sora was meant to reach towards the end of this game, as we'll be seeing as we go on, but yeah, it does also run the risk of making Coded a much more, well, pointless title that only really seemed to exist for, like, introducing audiences on the 3DS to, you know, Kingdom Hearts Classic, but that's neither here nor there in this case. I suppose into more relevant topics, really, it's, yeah. I mean, I will say that, and something that you are going to be seeing as you venture further on into Riku's story, particularly once we get to, well, finding Pinocchio right in this very level, really, is that, there we go. I believe we're using Spiky Prick's ability at this stage. Yeah. But yeah, Riku has more of the personal character journey that's basically continuing his arc from, you know, Chain of Memories to, and really just watching him grow into a man. Whee! So yeah, Spiky Prick's ability is basically, well, basically having Riku hit hard and heavy with, you know, using his Keyblade more like a flail, really. Or I guess maybe using the spiritual energy of Spiky Prick in order to, you know, hit hard, hit fast, and be lean and mean. Yeah. Wailing it. Healing. More violence. How droll. Well, luckily at times like these, this is where I get trivia to save my behind. Let's see. Oh, there we go, here's something relevant to talk about. Yeah, that's kind of completely irrelevant here, but Monstro eats ships, and therefore I feel good in talking about this, so yeah. But yeah, a textureless model of a ship from Treasure Planet is actually hidden in the game's files, suggesting that it was a planned world at some point. We do eventually get a Treasure Planet-ish reference in Kingdom Hearts 3 during some of the gummy ship segments in that game, but yeah, the idea that Treasure Planet was initially going to be a world in this game, that could have potentially been quite interesting. Why it wasn't around, I'm not too sure, but either way, it is kind of a shame, because I feel like another sci-fi level probably would have, you know, been to the game's benefit, really. I don't know, it just would have been quite fun. Oh well, but I mean, again, I suppose it does also sort of go to show that there's a lot of Kingdom Hearts potential Disney worlds that could have been, but sadly are not. I mean, I think the Jungle Book probably being the biggest example of that, coming close to existence in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, but falling short of the mark. Will it ever appear? Who knows, really. Unless, of course, we get the live-action remake in Kingdom Hearts 4, but probably not, since that was 2016. And I don't think was it that well-received when it came out? I'm gonna hazard a guess and say no, but, whatever really. Anyway, that was Mini. You shrink your enemies. And as a status effect, from the finest of fantasies, the fighting of fantasies, the best of times, the blurst of times. Golly gee. Anyway, it won't be staying in my dick for long, because it's Mini, and that makes me feel very self-conscious. Yes, replace it with... I didn't see what that was, so... whatever, I think my eye starts starting to go as well. Fuck. Anyway, cutscene go now with dramatic revelations that highlight Riku's lovely character.
Pinocchio!
Jiminy!
Let him go now!
Thank goodness. Are you all right? Riku and I looked for you everywhere.
Uh-huh, I'm just fine. Sorry, Jiminy. I messed up real bad. You and Father must have been so worried about me.
Why, Pinocchio? I think you just might be finally starting to learn.
Who are you? Me?
As I live and breathe.
That was my dark side. I gave in to the darkness once, and ever since, it's chased me around in one form or another. The Seeker of Darkness who stole my body. A puppet replica of the shadows in my heart. And now, I'm facing me.
Your dark side?
Gee, Riku, don't you have a Jiminy like I do? He's my conscience. He's taught me all kinds of important stuff. Maybe you just need somebody to show you what's right and wrong.
Sure. You can't shoulder all your problems alone, you know. You must have somebody. A friend you can talk to?
Yeah. Actually, I do. That stupid grin he's always wearing. He's the best teacher I could ever have.
Gee whiz, I wish I had lots of good friends.
You will, Pinocchio. More than you can count.
What now? Is something in there? Pinocchio, Jiminy, you should head back. I'll see what's shaking things up.
Okay.
Ah, so Sora is Riku's Jiminy. Which again makes sense as he balances out Riku's darker odors with his lighthearted demeanor, thus making him perfect boyfriend material. But yeah, this is pretty much going through recaps of Chain of Memories, pretty much the only real Chronicles thing I'm going to be showing off more or less, but yeah, you get some pretty pictures, and you can see, you know, stuff from Chain of Memories. And now we got our second gimmick. Whoa! Flipping the monster around by hitting one of its tendrils. Well, what is that meant to be? Is it like a nerve ending? I'm not going to assume that any of the science is accurate given that Monstro was a cartoon whale and even in turn, you know, Kingdom Hearts Dream Realm magical shit. Whatever. Well, I mean, then again, they did apparently get the scientific thing about how, like, apparently these sort of spots can apparently show up in a whale, and I believe also as well in humans, actually, if you look at your Indians and you drink coffee or some shit. I can't quite remember the exact science behind it, but I believe something, you know, similar to some of these spots showing up in, what was it, your liver, your intestines or something or other, whatever. Either way, the point is, pseudoscience initialize blurg. Gastric acid. Riku's being digested. Oh well. It's in the whale. We have to make sure we don't die by the Dream Eaters or getting digested. But the main reason why you want to be flipping Monstro inside and out and causing him some serious fucking stomach problems, or if not nerve damage, is so you can get treasure chests and flip the world upside down. Dream logic. Wowzers. Cartoony puppet music, bumpy up and down, whatever, blah. Yeah, I do apologize if I don't exactly have much in the way in terms of informative commentary or the tee funnies, but you know, all we really have is just a level we've seen before. A couple of times, actually, in the Kingdom Heartsian mythos, if you remember, both the boss fight that we fought as Aqua and Birth by Sleep, Chain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 1, so really, I haven't got too much to really elucidate on. Well, there is something I do actually want to bring up in terms of Monstro's actual character, and I don't know if this was, I don't know if this was included in the Pinocchio movie, or maybe, or it might have been something from like the original Pinocchio novel, but by I think it was like Carlo Collodi or something or other, by the original Italian author, is that yeah, Monstro I think might have initially been actually a human who was so consumed by his rage that by proxy of his anger, he ended up turning into a giant abstract whale, which is quite odd, really. But then again, I suppose in an abstract, you know, children's story kind of way, it does make some degree of sense because, you know, in keeping with the original Pinocchio's storytelling chops, it was there to teach kids, you know, morals and how to behave, because it was, you know, the titular Pinocchio was basically a naughty boy who needed a conscience and, you know, was pretty much just living life pleasing his id, and thus not becoming a real boy. And that included dying multiple times, like the fact that he He basically, well, again, I think I brought this up beforehand, but the fact that he was basically dared to hang himself, and then he did, and then he basically choked himself to death, because, you know, he had no fucking common sense. I mean, I think there is also the fact that I think he initially also got his legs broken and was set on fire a couple of times, so, yeah. Pinocchio gets quite tortured in the original story, so, yeah. Fun. Children's literature from the days of, well, basically when so much as getting like a cut or tuberculosis pretty much spelled the end of your life at the tender old age of like 7 or 8 years old. Back when times were simple and death came easier than jumping off a cliff. Which Pinocchio would have done, because after all, I mean, if all your friends are doing it, then fuck it. Why not just do it too? Because peer pressure is the only way to live your life. Yeah, by the way, in terms of talking about some of Riku's abilities, apart from Balloon Roll, we also have, you know, Cure Magic, obviously. We also have, like, a Drain ability where you jump on enemies and drain a bit of their health and add it to Riku's own. Drain Dive is what it's called. Delicious. But yeah, Sliding Dash, Balloon Roll, the reality shifts, all of your best friends are there to save your life as you, well, pretty much dance around this little corridor of emptiness. Maybe that's why Monstro is angry, maybe he's just really fucking hungry. I mean, God knows he's not really got any ships, humans, or food to digest. I mean, especially considering the fact that Gepetto seems to sort of carve out a little home for himself here, both in here and Kingdom Hearts 1. It's like, oh, I've gotten used to it, my boy. Pinocchio, let us settle down here in the whale's stomach. Eat the whale's food and, well, if need be, eat bits of Monstro's flesh. Whale meat! I heard it's quite a delicacy in Japan! There we go. Delicious. Take that little panda fuck. He might have a giant cape, but Riku has reality shifts before he is not a nobody. Oh, that's okay, Riku. Apology accepted. You keep on killing us. We're killing the Dream Eaters and taking their souls, earning their dream points and getting cash. I suppose I might as well go into, you know, Riku seeing his younger self back there. As you can no doubt tell, it seems we were in for quite a reunion with a lot of familiar faces that we thought were long dead. Including Riku himself, but as you might remember from Chain of Memories, is this the Riku we know good and proper, or is it the Riku replica? I mean, after all, there was a replica program that was part of the reason for Shion's existence. The intern was also part of the Riku replica's existence, and despite being destroyed in Chain of Memories, well, Xemnas could come back. Yes, I wonder who else we're due in for a reunion with. Could Anthem, the Seeker of Darkness, be upon us too? Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but either way, evil is afoot, and, yes, seems this test is going a bit fucking doolally. What exactly is Yensid doing throughout this whole thing? Is he just waiting for Sora and Riku to return? I don't know, like, I mean, if you remember Mickey's Malcolm Mastery back in Birth by Sleep for what little we saw of it, he seemed to have been overseeing his progress there, so is Yensid just sort of sitting back and hoping for the best? Because, I mean, we haven't really seen much current, up-to-date stuff at this stage, but I don't know, maybe in the next part we'll start seeing something a little bit closer to current events, as opposed to more recapping before they begin their quest. Yeah, well, regardless of such, we're finally making our way toward some progress. Bloop. Hit it again. Mysterious. Well, there's nothing else for it. I'm afraid we're stuck in here, viewers. Well, might as well get a bit cozy as we pad out for more time. You know, settle in with a whale stomach. I heard they actually eat this during the muktuk eating contest of Alaskan Olympics. Delicious. Yes, meet Chill Zoidberg's brother, Char Lobster. I'd like some charred lobster right now. But yeah, in a similar fashion to, you know, chilled Zoidberg, Char Lobster is well, quite a bit of a pain in the arse, and you do really need to be careful when fighting this boss fight, so yeah, I guess that's part of the reason why the World Order recommends that you tackle this word third, lastly, even though I feel like it should be tackled first, because it sort of does lean on from the whole Dream Realm aspect and sort of gets it out of the way, so you're not having it explained much later point in the game, if you didn't already understand from Traverse Town, but yeah, the only real problem with the, Child Clawster in this case is the fact that it likes to get a lot of distance from Riku compared to, Chilled Zoidberg, so yeah, using, Rising Wing is pretty much your real way of getting to a quick, using Sliding Dash to sort of close the distance, or failing that, using Flow Motion, so yeah, it does also like to shift the balance of gravity, really, so yeah, get back on the ground, hit the nerve, flip the arena back on the other side, or wait for it to descend down on the ground, or use range attacks, fire, balloon roar, all that good stuff, so yeah, I'd say in this case Riku's probably a little bit more pimped out and ready to deal with it compared to Sora, but all in all though, do watch your 6, because, it can cleave down your health quite easily, and if you're not quite sufficiently leveled up enough in order to meet the challenge, well, you might find yourself, well, either having Riku go, "Oh mate, I'm not fucking doing it, nah mate," or, just dying. And remember, if you die in the dream, then you die for real. Yeah, maybe Freddy Krueger is involved in the Dream Realm. Yes indeed, Freddy Krueger, the true final boss of Dream Drop Distance. Because Freddy is trademark coming for you. Wowzers! Oh my god, it's shooting its laser beams! I mean, it does shoot out fireballs, but it's not really making great use out of its, flame namesake, really. Should have been called Laser Lizard, Laser Lobster. Although that sounds more like a Mega Man X Maverick. Yeah, well.
I thought I was only sent into the past, on the Destiny Islands. So why does it seem like time was rewound in this world too? Maybe it's like Master Yen Sid said. The world was freed from darkness, but is yet to wake from it. It's trapped in a never-ending dream.
My god, what an ugly looking Keyblade. Never using that one ever, but yeah, you saw in that cutscene right there that Riku reached the exact same conclusions that Sora did. It is meant to be playing into the whole duality element, but at the same time though, I mean, yeah, it's just there to further go to show that this was meant to be Riku's game as opposed to having Sora just sort of, nuzzle his way in there. But, you know what, I think I've said enough for one night, so yeah, let's exchange some dream points, and on that note, I'm Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and next time on Dream Drop Distance, we move on to our next world, so yeah, good night everybody.